All right, so every now and then you meet somebody on the red carpet down in New Orleans at the Super Bowl. Terrance Osborne, tell everyone who you are.
Hey, Chris. Yeah, so I'm a New Orleans artist for the most part, a colorist, family man. I've had some success with my career in New Orleans, and from there, uh, pretty much my claim to fame. My claim to fame is my Jazz Fest posters, which are the most sought after posters in the world, and I've done six of them so far. So I went from being an art teacher at an elementary school to having some international recognition. So I'm happy with that. I feel humbled and grateful by it.
Do you have some of your work nearby you can show us?
Nearby, I'm gonna take you on this. This is funny, but my the front door at my house, right? Um, I do work at home, but this one is interesting. So you see, I don't tell people what my address is. I just tell them to come down the street, and you can see the house. So I'm decorating for Mardi Gras, but you see, this is like a
Is that
tree house.
three-dimensional?
Yes, three dimensional. So I can stick my hand right here behind it. Um,
Wow, that is so
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's
What's what's the little heart on the tree signify?
So my wife's name is Stephanie, and that's a TNS for Terrence and Stephanie. I'll sneak that in, sort of like a Where's Waldo. People look for it when they see my artwork. I don't put it in everything, like about 50%.
That looks awesome, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I love the three-dimensional aspect.
yeah, yeah. Well, I work on wood, so that makes the whole process easier. I started working on wood because it was cheaper than canvas in college, and it stuck with me. But you know, we're in a great spot too. I love this area. I love the neighborhood.
Yeah, New Orleans has some beautiful neighborhoods throughout the city, and it's got
Mhm.
a lot of flavor. Like one thing about New Orleans that I realized this trip down that I didn't really appreciate the last couple of times I went to New Orleans is that it's
Mhm.
got flavor. Like it literally has flavor in the art community, it has flavor in the food community. It just has flavor.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, if if you are an artist of any type and you are in New Orleans, if you're not inspired, then you're half dead because it's everywhere. You're absolutely right. It's in the food, it's in the way we dress,
Music.
it's in the buildings, it's in our speech. It's everywhere. Like we're a colorful, eclectic people, and we're proud of that. So, we in our Southern hospitality, those things are you don't find that everywhere else.
I had the best biscuits I ever had in my entire life at a breakfast place called Ruby Slipper.
Oh,
And
go ahead. Yeah, Ruby Slipper. Yeah, they have excellent breakfast. Yeah, you went to the right
yeah, their
place.
their biscuits were the fluffiest biscuits I've ever had, and I've
Hmm.
never had an eggs Benedict with a biscuit, and it was straight up the best.
Oh yeah. Well, you if you come to New Orleans and you really have to abandon your diet and become a gluttonous because it's the only way you're really going to enjoy the food. And by the way, my gallery is on the same street as that Ruby Slipper, the Magazine Street
Oh,
uptown.
it is.
Yeah,
So that
yeah,
was
I'm
right.
just a few
That
blocks
was
from
right
there.
by. So that was right by the museum where we held the red carpet event. Then, right?
Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so there's another Ruby Slipper, and this one is uptown, a little further uptown on Magazine Street, where my
Yeah. So
gallery
I
is.
walked. I walked from the Ruby Slipper we ate at to the Jazz Museum.
Oh yeah,
So
okay,
that,
yeah, yeah. That's a different one.
which, by the way, I had one pancake also. I'm not kidding you. The pancake was insanely good too. Their ability to make biscuits and pancakes was second to none.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah, they're no IHOP. They got it.
No, definitely no IHOP. That I can guarantee you.
Yeah, yeah.
But talk a
So,
li- talk a little bit about what it means to be an artist entrepreneur, because when you're an artist, that's your creative side. But when you're an artist entrepreneur, you have to be a businessman also. and talk a little bit about the challenges that you face on ongoing basis.
Yeah, yeah. One thing about artists, is artists do not like doing business, right? All we want to do is paint. Just like don't put the bills and the money and all the responsibilities in front of us. Don't put a camera in front of us. We just want to create, and rightfully so, because that creative process, um, you can't quantify that. You can't contain that. So there's no way to it's not a linear process, right? Because artists need to look at their work. They drink some coffee, sit back, work on it again, go have lunch, come back, work on it again, and it's that organic process that artists go through that's necessary. So business is the exact opposite of that. Business is more structured, it's more linear, it's more strategic in that way. So artists tend to shy away from business. I I was just like that. Now my wife has always been a business person. When I met her, I could tell that that's how she was. And she, if you are an artist, marry somebody who's a business person. That is the best thing you can do, right? Because they'll handle that other half for you until you're able to pick it up. So now I'm at the point where I pick up business and I do both now, and it's necessary because you don't realize how necessary it is as an artist, because you can't have somebody doing something for you, doing the business aspect for you the whole time. You could do that when once you really made it, if you want to. But I don't think you can avoid it because business is about relationships, right? So
Yep.
the better your relationship with the people who are buying your work, the more successful you're going to be. Once you realize that as an artist, then you change that just want to paint to, okay, I need to use my resources. So it's necessary for sure. If you want to be successful as an artist, you cannot omit it, you know.
What are some of the art pieces that you're most proud of? What are some of the pieces that you really absolutely think back on and say, wow, these are my top five pieces?
Yeah, so for me, my my Jazz Fest posters are probably because they're my top six. Those are my most successful pieces that I have. Now, as far as the pieces that I think are my favorite, I have there's a piece called From Nothing, and it has to do with it's this colorful tree, right? And in this tree,
Hey, what do you got there? What do you
yeah,
got there?
this is Pookie. He was begging to come up. So Pookie is oh, there we go. Look, Pook, you got a friend.
Oh, we got tons
Oh,
of
you got
friends.
two friends, Pookie.
So this is Gracie and her brother Theo. This
Yeah.
girl, ever since she was born, she for whatever reason loves going into my nose and licking out my boogers. So I call her Booger. This guy, he loves laying on pillows. So he's got royal blood in him. We call him the
Mhm.
king.
Oh, there we go. Booger and the
Look at
King.
him. Look at him. Pookie's so happy. How old is Pookie?
Pookie is a year now, I think. Yeah, he looks
Oh
like a
my God.
baby though, but he's
I was
he's a
gonna
year.
say he looks young. I was gonna say these guys have a birthday coming up June 14th. They'll be 3 years old.
Oh, look at that. There, yeah. They're both wait, so they're not
Pookie.
related, are they?
Yeah, sister, brother.
Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah. Yeah,
Pookie,
Pookie was
you come to Vegas. You got people now. You got people if you come to Vegas.
there we go. Yeah, Pookie was the rush. He's the man though, like he runs the show.
Yeah. Is that your only dog?
Yeah, yeah. This is our only one. Yep.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah, I think you just got to cut. He's usually looking like Oscar the Grouch, all scruffy and stuff, but you just got to cut
I'll be
just
honest
right.
with you. He looks good. He's a little curious right now. He's like, Dad, you got any food around here? I smell some bacon. You got some
Oh
bacon?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I have spaghetti and meat sauce right here that my wife made for me, and he
That's
that's what he wants.
That's
That's why he
exactly. I
yeah.
I could tell he was licking his nose and he was like, Dad, forget the interview. Let's get some
See,
of that
see, that's
spaghetti.
when you're a dog person. You pick that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, by the way, I'm not kidding you. I I buy these from Sam's Club. You can buy them online. They're called Nature's Naws. I'm not
yeah,
kidding you. For little guys, this is the funnest thing that they get a chance to chew on. Now, I
really.
can't not give them one. Yeah, if you get a chance to get these, look at this. Let me show you this. They're like long pieces of
Oh,
spaghetti, but
yeah, yeah.
they're basically like turkey tendons. And
That's what he
these
needs.
oh these guys love these things. They go crazy.
Well,
Now
so
I
turkey
literally have
tendons, that's great because I put in Pookie's food, I give him a dry food, but I mix in about 25% turkey ground meat, right? And he
so it's
loves it.
interesting
So
because I do that too. I give them some warm with their kibble. Funny thing
yeah.
is, all I got three dogs. All three of my guys, well, the little guys especially. The big guy, he just plows through it like a dump truck. But the little
Mhm.
guys, they literally pick out all the warm stuff and they leave the kibble for later when they want a snack.
Oh yeah, man. That dogs are like people, they figure it out.
Well, I always tell people this. God sends us angels in the form of dogs to watch over us as we watch over them. And I really
Mm.
do believe that dogs find us, we don't find them. Like
Ah,
I
look at
had
that.
I had a dog before I had these two little guys, and I didn't think I was ever going to get a little dog. I got a big dog, Cane Corso, 129 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere, I just found, these two dogs came into my life. And I thought to myself, wow, three dogs. I travel, I run a couple of businesses. I'm like, this is going to be crazy. And it
Mm-hmm.
turned out to literally make me more active than I've ever been. And it's actually good. It was a godsend for me. So
Oh
yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you gotta plan walks, you gotta plan trips to the vet, you gotta plan. Funny thing, I will say one thing. My big guy, he goes to this grooming place. It's called Scent Hound. I don't know if they have them down by you, but for
No.
65 a month, I can bring him there as many times as I want, and they give him a bath and stuff. Well, he loves going. He used to hate going to the groomer. Like he's 120. It's like it was like wrestling a World Wrestling Federation wrestler to try and get him in the bathtub. Like I would literally try and like wrestle him into the bathtub. He
Oh
was
my
just so
God.
strong. Finally, I just said, "All right, I'll just take you to the groomer, let them wrestle with you." Here's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to this place now. He starts howling in the car when he knows where we're going. And he loves that place. Like he goes there.
No
I take him
way.
there like once a week now. And they just basically give him a bath. They give him a like conditioner. They do his nails, his teeth. He's the cleanest he's ever been. And he goes
Yeah,
every week.
I wish they had one of those here. Yeah, that's a
Listen, I
great
gotta
one.
tell you, if you ever want to open one of those up, it's a great concept because what they do is they charge 65 bucks and then they give you these up charges and then they sell some like treats and stuff there. And like people bring their dog there and they've got it down to a science where they walk them into this there's a ramp and it takes them right into this like stainless steel tub. And they got the
Mm-hmm.
hose and they hose them down and they wash them down. And I'm not kidding you. Like every 7 days, I take him there. He loves it. He gets a chance to see all the other dogs. I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
now. Granted, I
It's a
take the big
social
guys
event for them.
because yeah, the little guys are easy. I just throw them in the tub and they're just like, fuck, let's do this shit.
Yeah. Well, I used
Him,
to have a Great Dane, so I feel you about bathing them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Great Dane had to be like all legs in that bathtub.
Oh yeah, there's no I couldn't even put him in the bathtub. He basically had two of his feet, his paws at the edge of the tub and the rest of him in there. So he wasn't getting
Mine's
in.
a Cane. Yeah, mine's a Cane Corso, so he's a little more denser than a Great Dane. He's like got 8.5% body fat, so he's strong as an
Oh,
ox. And what
wow.
and he, when he, even if you get him close to the bathroom, he'll turn around and start walking the other way, and
Yeah.
he has no desire to be put in a bathtub. But for whatever reason, at this place that I take him to, he loves it. Like I'm not kidding you. He literally howls. He loves it. He gets in there. I mean, I'm pretty sure mentally he's having the best time of his life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. I used to take him to another groomer lady who charged me $1 a pound. And she put him on the scale and she's like, oh, it's 129 pound, $29. And here they're charging me 65 unlimited. I'm thinking to myself, thank you, Lord. What the hell happened? This is awesome.
Yeah, wow. That's a concept and charge you by the pound. That's
Yeah,
different.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Okay.
whenever they saw me coming with Jesse, they're like, "Oh, well, we don't have a price structure for him, so we're gonna have to charge him by the pound." I'm like, "Well, he
Oh
weighs
yeah, they
3 pounds."
started it with you.
No, I'm pretty sure they started it with other dogs too, because, but when they saw Jesse, they're like, "All right, here's our three prices," and it was like 60, 80, 100, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Well, we have to do, it takes us longer with Jesse because his coat doesn't dry, and we got to blow dry him with a blow dryer." Finally, the
Oh.
nice thing about this other place that I take him to, they don't blow dry him; they just do the wash and the deep conditioning. But I live in
Mm.
Vegas. All he has to do is be outside in the sun for a while. That shit's gonna dry by itself.
Oh, in no time in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
talk a little bit about some of the pieces of art that you've got hanging in some popular places around the world.
Oh, popular places around the world. It's funny because I don't see my artwork most around the world. Most places are people's homes, and I don't go in homes. I People share that they have my artwork hanging in their home, and then I reshare it on social media, mostly Instagram. But it's interesting. The stars don't necessarily collect my work. There is a star or two. Anthony Mackie, who's Captain America currently, has a few of my originals. Wendell
I love
Pierce as
Matt.
well.
He's a good actor. He's done a lot of good roles. He did another one. Can't remember the other movie. He's done a lot of good roles. Like he's a good actor.
He's a very good actor. Yeah, yeah. We actually went to the same school as an art school here in New Orleans called NOCA.
What was that?
New Orleans Center for Creative Arts. It's called NOCA. It's sort of like if you can imagine that, that show Fame,
Yeah.
where they had the discipline there. All the disciplines are at NOCA. And
So
he made
dancing,
his yeah,
music,
yes. His
art.
was his was theater and mine was art. And what's funny, sorry, because my wife was in his class. They had a class together, and I didn't know that. I didn't marry her until later on, and then found out that they were in class together. Interesting. His
Yeah.
brother lives a few houses down from me in the same neighborhood. But Wendell Pierce has some of my work too. Drew
Who's Wendell
Brees.
Pierce?
Wendell Pierce. He's starred in Treme. The movie, the series Treme. Uh, and a
No, I don't
few other things. I think it was,
want to say I know
uh,
this guy. I want to know him as an actor.
yeah, it was, how was that other movie?
Gary, who is Wendell Pierce?
Um,
Oh, this guy. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen him in a couple of movies before.
yeah, yeah. Drew Brees has some of my work. Um,
Drew Brees
you
is
know,
like a big guy down in New Orleans. Like he really embraced the city and really became a part of the culture down there.
oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, he fit right in, he knew what to do. Um,
He invested in a friend of mine's business called Everbowl. Are you familiar with Everbowl?
no,
They
no.
basically make acai bowls. Are you familiar with that? It's like
Oh,
basically
yeah,
ice.
acai bowls. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah,
So
those are good. Yeah.
those are,
Um,
I got to tell you, Everbowl, their bowls crush it. Like, I got to watch my sugar level. So I tried the one that was basically chocolate and vanilla. That stuff was unbelievably tasty. Like, it was crazy good. Shout out to Jeff
oh,
Fenster.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I I watch my sugars. I don't have to, but I do because I think it's a healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, so anything that's like is a natural sugar, I'll take it. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah. You got
Hmm.
to be careful because I don't think people understand how silent of a killer sugar is over the long term of your life. And especially like when people go to like Starbucks and they drink these drinks, there's like in some of the drinks, I want to say it's like 90, 80, 70 grams of sugar in one drink. And that's like a week's worth of sugar for a human being.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Sugar is hidden in everything. Almost, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say 90% of the products in the grocery store are sugar, have sugar in it.
Oh yeah, I'll
It's,
tell you an interesting story. When I started to pause the amount of sugar I put in my body, I started
mhm.
looking at everything a lot closer, and I read up a little bit of a story on sugar in ketchup. And the company known as Heinz Ketchup, they used to never put sugar in their recipe, but they realized that if they added cane sugar to their recipe, people would have an addiction to it because sugar is 5 times more addictive than cocaine.
Mhm.
So literally 30% of Heinz ketchup was sugar. I have to
Mhm.
order a special bottle of Heinz ketchup to get the one that's just made with the old recipe, which has no added sugar. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah, sugars in barbecue sauce, ketchup, like the things that
Okay, wait,
we
stop there. Stop right there. It's okay if it's in barbecue sauce. Let's leave barbecue sauce alone.
I know, I feel you on that.
Is there
You know,
good barbecue down in Orleans?
um, yeah, food in general is good in New Orleans. There, I don't go out to eat those things. I used to. Um, I try to keep my diet pretty simple. So, and that's hard being in New Orleans, but I'm pretty disciplined with it.
Well, the
Um,
crazy thing is, when I was down there recently, I did not get a chance to try jambalaya. I like literally wanted to go out of my way to find jambalaya, and everywhere we went, there was no
okay.
jambalaya. I was like,
All right. So,
this is
well,
crazy.
you gotta say it like the locals do. You gotta say jambalaya. So it's like
Oh,
JUM.
well, whatever you want to call it, I wanted it bad, and I literally
Yeah.
left town without getting any. And I thought to myself, I feel like I got cheated out of this year's Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason to go back for sure. Um,
For sure.
but yeah, you got to go to a place that makes good jambalaya. So not everybody makes good jambalaya though. You got to find a
No,
place.
that is true. But I
Yeah.
will say there's a place here called the Oyster Bar in Vegas, and they
Hmm.
make jambalaya, and I'm not kidding you. They put insanely large shrimp in there, and
Oh
the
yeah.
sausage, the shrimp, and you know what else they add that's unique? Okra.
Right. Oh
They
yeah,
put
okra.
okra,
Yeah. Well,
and
they know
it's
what they're
actually
doing.
crazy good.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. That's like classic jambalaya. Put
Yeah,
some
and
okra.
then here's the thing. They take the jambalaya, but they put the rice in first, and then they pour the jambalaya all over it. And
Hmm.
it's great because you like get the rice at the bottom and the jambalaya is at the top.
Oh, so wait, I'm not sure what you're having though, because jambalaya is all mixed in. It's not. There's nothing you pour on the top. It's sort of
Well,
like a. It's
normally,
sort of like
yeah, but
what's that
is there
Spanish
rice
dish?
mixed in?
Yeah, the rice is mixed in. It's like paella, right?
Yeah, so they do it a little bit differently. Instead of letting the rice sit in the jambalaya inside the pot, they put the rice
Mhm.
in first, and then it's white rice, and then they pour the jambalaya all over it. And they don't even give you a regular bowl. They give you like a mixing bowl. Like it's insane how big the bowl is. And I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
kidding you.
Okay.
It's crazy good the way they do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I have to try it that way. That's I've never heard that.
Like
Pouring
I
it
said,
over.
they're totally unique. The shrimp,
Hmm.
most places when you go, you get jambalaya. The shrimp's like normal size
Yeah.
or small. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding you. There's our tiger prawn shrimp, crazy
Oh
good.
man. That's how you want it right there. Yeah, that's when they care.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
that that's yeah. You get a chance, go check out the Oyster Bar. It's at one of the two of the casinos. I want to say, not El Dorado, Durango, which by the way is a
Right.
new casino, and they have like 15 restaurants in there. Their food quality is crazy good there.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll have to look
Who
that
knew we
up.
were going to do a podcast talking about food when I'm talking to a world class artist?
Oh, it's all good. It's all living, man. We're all doing it the same, so that's
Exactly.
fine.
So
Yeah.
how'd you meet your wife?
So I met my wife through a mutual friend when I got to college. I already had a 2-year-old when I met her, so I was already the non-traditional college student. So I met her I believe, beginning of my sophomore year, and she was actually trying to hook me up with one of her girlfriends, right? A friend of hers that liked me. She was trying to do her a favor, and I'm talking to her, and we're talking and on the phone at night all the way up until 5 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, "You sure you don't
Oh,
want
damn.
to?" Yeah, she's like, "You sure you don't want me to give her your number?" I'm like, "No, I don't want. No, I want to talk to you. I know. I'm sure about what I want." You know. The rest is history, man. 28 years later, here we are. That's how it happened. Her girlfriend got mad, but that's all right.
It happens. I'm sure she found some. I'm sure she went through a bunch of other guys throughout that time period.
Maybe, but I got my winner, bro. I'm good.
I always ask people to share an inspirational story or message to people that if you were talking to somebody that was scared or had fear in their hearts, but
Mm.
in pursuing their dream of being an artist, what would you tell them? What would you tell them that would inspire them to get off the couch and really pursue their dream and go for it?
Mm. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's a pretty simple idea. It's not always easy to do, but I would tell somebody who's afraid but really wants it is to do what you love, right? So doing what you love guarantees that you'll be happy. Now, I'm not saying you'll be rich, you'll be successful, all of that, but you'll be happy, right? Because there's a certain amount of happiness that comes along with it. For instance, if you take the other way, like say if you're an artist, artists need to be able to be creative, right? If you put an artist behind a desk and have them to punch keys all day, they might as well blow their brain out, right? You can't put them in a cubicle and then do that to them, right?
No, that's
You
not their mindset.
Right. So if let's say you go to college and you're really an artist, but then you decide to go in for business because you're not as sure. Your heart's in art, but then you want to make sure that you're successful, so you go for money and numbers. uh, when you after you graduate, within a period of 10 years or so, let's say you get close to 30, you're going to look back and go, man, I should have majored in whatever you're passionate about, and then you kick yourself because you end up doing what you love anyway. You'll come home and do it. It's never going to leave you. So why not throw all that out and start with what you love? So that's what I would say. Yeah, it's always going to be frightening to go into what you love because there's a risk there.
Yeah.
And you're afraid of not being successful. But what's worse is not being happy. So you want to start with that. Start with what makes you happy, and then the money will come. Because one thing's for sure, people want to buy a piece of happiness when they look at whatever it is you're doing. Like I sell paintings. If if I'm selling paintings that are depressing, I'm not motivated. When I'm painting, you can see that through the work. Nobody's going to want that, right? And there are times when we do want to see those things, like you want to go see a sad movie or it's a tragedy or whatever. Yeah, because we're both. We're not just we're evil and we're good, right? So we sometimes need to appeal to both of those. But um, one thing that I enjoy and I prefer to do is to make something beautiful and put that out into the world. Because when you arrive back to the place where you're feeling good and you're feeling productive and creative, um, my work will meet you there. That's what I
Oh,
want to contribute to
I
the
love
world.
that. My work will meet you there. I love that.
Yeah.
Like literally, literally, people should find happiness in the art that you create.
Yes. Yeah.
And
That's the point. Yeah. Because I want you to enjoy it. Like if I'm not in a good place and I start working, it puts me in a good place. So my work, it always turns out to be enjoyable. it looks like I'm enjoying myself because that's what people want. Is was my point. People want to buy a piece of happiness. When they look at it, they want to feel good. Like, ah, I'll take that. I see that you enjoyed yourself, so I'm gonna buy that. You know, and I don't even have to be there for them to do that. They just see the enjoyment. And it's like a good song. You could tell when the artists enjoyed themselves in a song, and then you want to listen to it again. You know, the same
Have
thing.
you ever done a display of some of your art like at the airport? Because I noticed that when I came in and out of New Orleans at the airport, they had a lot
Mhm.
of artistic stuff around there. And there was just a lot of art on the walls and stuff. And I always thought to myself, as I'm talking to you right now, that'd be a great place to showcase a local artist.
Yeah, there are a lot of artists at the airport right now. None of my work is there though. It's a new airport, so they just started putting artwork in there. Um, But I just finished a piece right before the Super Bowl. I partnered with Raising Cane's and did this 60 by
I love that
25
place.
mural.
I love that
Yeah.
place. Like
Yeah.
literally, you know how Raising Cane's makes their chicken fingers, by the way? You want to hear a great secret?
Go.
It's Special K flakes. That's what's on the
K-Flake.
Raising Cane's.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
what?
Special K. You know the cereal Special K?
Yeah. That's
It's
what they
basically
use?
they put those in the batter, and then when you put it in the egg wash and you roll around in the flour in the Special K, that's Special K flakes on the outside.
Are you kidding me? That's what they use?
I'm telling you.
No way. I don't buy that. How'd you find that out?
I went online one day and I saw a video and I saw them how they make it, and basically they put like Special K flakes in and they crunch them up in the
Really?
batter,
So
or not in the
I was
batter, but in the flour.
I know I've seen people do that, but I didn't think Raising Cane's was doing that. And that
Yeah.
was a legitimate official
Well, I
site
mean,
that
I
you
don't know
can
if it's official or somebody like decided to do it at home,
do
but
it. Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you ever eat one of their Raising Canes, it's the batter is just so good, and the
Oh,
chicken
yeah.
inside is so moist.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. I can't go to Raising Canes without buying one of the 25 packs. Like I bring that home, and all my dogs are like, "Hey, give
You
it
know,
up."
that's the test, man, because you can give a dog any fast food and that's not a joke. They really will eat the food. They don't like stuff that's plastic. And all dogs like Raising Cane's. My dog goes crazy over Raising Cane's.
Oh,
So yeah.
trust me. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Funny
There
thing is, my little
there's
guys love
yeah, go ahead.
cooking with the outer coating of it.
Oh yeah. Yep, yep. Yeah, I think it's because they use true ingredients. Even their lemonade, they make fresh every day. There's like lemons and sugar. It's not that's not
Yeah,
yeah, artificial.
I
Uh
got to give them credit. They have a great product, and they literally built a business off making a great product.
and the people that they hire, like they figured it out. You know, like it's always frustrating when I go to a store, like even like like so Walgreens or a CVS or something like that. And you bring your products to the counter and the cashier is just like, "Hi, how are you?" You know, like real dry. Like that bugs me because I I recognize a person is standing in front of me. That's one of my pet peeves is people who don't see that. Raising Cane's, I think they pride themselves on hiring people who recognize that a person is standing in front of them. They're all friendly and they're nice people. I don't understand how they find so many nice people, but all their employees are kind. And I'm not even paid by Raising
Well,
Cane's to
I
sell
think
that stuff,
sometimes it's how you take care of your people too.
Yeah.
They give them breaks, they give them food. Yeah,
Yes,
raising
they do.
treats their people right. I
Yeah.
think a company, hey, listen, I don't mind paying extra when I know a company takes care of their people, and it's super important
Yes.
that, especially like restaurants, you have to like literally you have to take care of your people.
Yes. Well, and that's why Todd Graves is the wealthiest man in Louisiana. It's not coincidence. He knows what he's doing, you know.
I just realized Raising Cane's is from Louisiana. I didn't realize that until just now.
Yeah, well, their first restaurant is in Baton Rouge. That's the mothership. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
because he had an event during the Super Bowl week. I couldn't go, but a friend of mine went, And I realized he's like, yeah, I met Todd Graves from Raising Cane's. I'm like, fuck, I love that place.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the party to be at. If you were invited, you're important. I wasn't invited, so next time you're gonna have to take me along, buddy.
Todd, dude, Todd, what's going on here? Do we have to tag you in this or what?
Tag him, tag Todd.
You know, I,
But
I
yeah.
really enjoyed our talk. And if you had one last thing to leave people with, what would you leave them with?
Hmm. One last thing I'll leave him with. Hmm.
Nothing related to Raising Cane's. They didn't invite us to the party.
Right. Um, yeah, I mean, so I enjoy speaking to artists more than anything, right? Because I tell artists all secrets. Especially young artists, because I know where I was, and if there were certain things that I knew, I I would be further ahead. I'm happy with where I am, but I'm just saying, it took me a while to learn certain things. Uh, and I have a quote at the front of my gallery that says, "Art is a footprint of where the mind has traveled." The second part of that is um, basically break the rules, right? When you break the rules, you open up the opportunity to learn new rules, right? So you learn the first rules well, and then you break them, and then you create something new. So that's the process. I believe that's the artistic process. And I think that across the board that applies. We can get stuck in sort of the monotony of doing things that we usually do, and then we wonder why we're unhappy. Well, then breaking pattern and trying new stuff is I think applies across the board. It's because I think the purpose of life is to be happy, right? What else is there? Because when we're in a happy place, then we feel good and we're productive. It's good for everybody. Um, if you can ever find a meaning of life at any point, then I believe that's it, to be happy.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's been the message of this talk is, people just have to find and embrace happiness.
Yeah, and I don't mean happiness as in, oh, I'm so happy. I think people uh, misunderstand what that is. Happiness is contentment. That means that
I was just gonna
you,
say, I'm happiest when I'm at peace.
yes, right, right, yeah, it's sort of the middle place. You're not so invested into the highs and to the lows. You're content with where you are. It's a peace. Yeah, that's a good word.
All right, he's Terrance Osborne. Terrance, we got to do this again sometime soon.
Definitely, brother. I appreciate you having me on. Yeah, let's do it
I
again.
appreciate your time. I think the message was great today. I think people, if they get one thing out of this talk, is find your happiness, embrace it, hold on to it, hang on to it, and find happiness every single day. Because that's the biggest message I got out of this talk.
Yes, that's tattoo worthy, man.
Awesome. Hold on
All
one
right,
second,
brother.
Terrence.
Yes.